students exchange in Spain when I was, I don't know, 16 years old maybe. And I experienced the culture shock in terms of food and dinner, because in Spain it was so late that people used to have dinner. And I remember the voice of my mom, and it's still in my head, like, okay, be at home before 6 p.m. because we're going to eat dinner like punctual 6 p.m. If you be late after 6, you won't get any food. And in Spain, you have dinner like maybe at 11 p.m. or so. So it was a big cultural shock for me, and I experienced it. I noticed from the language that I used to say we like Germans, and they like Spain. So in cultural shock, you're not integrated, you're not merging with the country where you are. You speak about it like two different groups. So this is what I always noticed when the cultural shock actually occurred to myself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Laura. And now I see that Kamal also wants to share. Please go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. My definitions for the culture shock is a case can be happen for everybody of us, for the human being. It's a case of instability or depression or oppression sometime when you face unbalanced circumstances you live in related to the language, culture, traditions. When you visit other countries, for another country for the first time. From my experiences, I got such this culture shock. About 12 years, I visited Japan. Japan, you know, that's is very, very strange community, not like the Arab countries, not like Arab culture. So yes, in the first day I got, or this first days, 3 days, I got this shock because of the language. First is because of the language, because of the habits and the traditions I faced, and some let's say behavior of others, how they deal, how to respect their others, they respect the law, and we used to not to do the same, not to face the same things in our countries. So because of the culture, it was the basic reason for this this shock. As nobody can speak Arabic or English, I have to deal with some people who can catch some words in English here or Arabic here and there. So it was a shock. But when I went to another countries, even also the first time, but I haven't got such this shock because maybe I used to get this in the first time. This is the point. Maybe the first time you leave or to live in other country, on other culture, maybe you got the cultural shock.
Thank you for sharing. Mamun, please go ahead.
Yes, I have a different story of cultural shock. It happened to me when I was visiting the Scotland, let's say, the countryside of Scotland. There was in our residence, in our accommodation, there was like a herd of sheep around us, and suddenly one morning I found small, maybe it's like 2-3 months sheep, and he was calling his mother, and in a very nervous way. So I ran to it. I went just to hold it, to to bring him down. But unfortunately, people start to scream at me, "Don't touch it! Don't touch it!" I said, "Why? It's alone in the middle of nowhere. The herd is far away. It's like maybe 5 kilometers in the mountains, and we are next to the river." Told me, "Don't touch it. If you touch it, its parents will not accept him anymore, and he will die." So for me, it was a cultural shock, because our animals are more friendly. We touch them, we hold them, and it's okay. So I didn't understand this. So it's like a different cultural shock for me. Thank you.
Mahmoud, thank you very much for sharing this story. And we can see that, Akram, I think that because of that connection, you cannot share it with us, but I will read out loud what you wrote. Like, feeling frightened, bewildered, or surprised when encountering cultures other than your own. About myself, I haven't had a culture shock yet, maybe because I read a lot about other people's cultures. For me, it's interesting because although I also like read about other cultures and I study about them, when I enter the country and I see it like live from like very practical way, it's always different than in theory. And I'm always surprised, even though I kind of know what to expect, I'm surprised and I encounter very like various situations that I didn't expect to encounter.
It's the same for me because like I was studying for 3 years master geography, and I was reading a lot about other countries. But each time, and as Magda said, when I like interact with people and I talk to them, and I'm trying to understand.
We can't hear, please.
Like experiences.
No, we don't.
Excuse me, we
can't
can't
hear
hear.
you well. We can't hear you well.
You cannot hear me?
Yeah, hearing is not good.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes,
Yes.
it's louder. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, guys. I would
So
like-
as I was saying, like each time when I'm
Still there is some problem. Yeah. Anyhow, I would like to share you first of all. Yeah, to share. Yeah, can I? Hi. Yeah.
Yes,
Can
Yes,
I
yes.
talk? Can I talk? Yeah. First of all, I apologize that I come a little bit later because you know it is hot and I got a nap and it looks like that I passed some time. I mean, I just worked up and came. Anyhow, this is number one about cultural shock. Yeah, I would like also say something because I studied in Germany. And for my professor that time, I took a woman dress, national Palestinian woman dress to his wife. And what astonished me at the time I gave her in his home, gave her this dress, that she took all, and there were some other people around us there. She took off all her clothes, and maybe she stayed only with the bikini, and she wore that dress in front of them, and she praised that I gave her this present. For me, that's a cultural shock. That and this way to do it, that's to take off all your clothes for a woman and to stay with a bikini and then dress what I gave her as a gift. For me, that's unusual. You know, in our Arab world, that's too much. You know, so that's the first cultural shock. And another time also, in the same year, that was summer, and I studied in Hanover. Hanover is in northern Germany, and as I was biking there, I saw not only one lady, two ladies, came, it was summer, it was hot, and they took off all their clothes and they had a blanket in the garden and they just only laid down. And as I asked, what's the matter? People said they are taking a sun shower. That's for me also too much. That is one or the two incidents. But afterwards, I got used to see many other cultural shocks like this. Okay, this is just to tell you about a cultural shock.
What a lucky culture shock.
Oh, I don't want to go deeper, but there were more. Anyhow.
Hi everyone. Can I share my culture shock with you, please?
Oh, yeah, tell us.
But can we just wait, because Samir, I thought that you were.
He was first.
Yeah, like a couple minutes ago. Samir, would you like to share first?
Yeah, sure.
Hello everyone. Hello.
Hi Samir.
About culture shock maybe happen in the same country between our village. Sometimes you're not allowed to wear, let's say about men, not allowed to wear short and walk in the street inside Jordan, in Imman or in Al-Ghor, not allowed to wear short or cut for men and walk in the street. I mean, in the same country, maybe you find culture shock, not just between different countries or different language, or it happened in the same country. It's happened sometimes.
Yeah, we are shocked in our countries. You are right.
Yes. Thank you.
أخي شروان بس بدي أسلم عليك، كيف حالك؟
مرحبا دكتورنا الحبيب، مرحبا
أهلا أهلا أهلا.
Very nice to meet you always. I have a
Always,
small
والله.
story about the culture shock if you have some time for me. In fact, even as Mr. Samir said, in the same country we have a culture shock. On 2006, the security in Baghdad was very bad, very bad. We couldn't even go to our work, and so we decided to transfer our residency to Kurdistan. The Kurdistan at that time till now, it's a very secure place. So we moved there. We hire a place and we sit and we take our, let us say, all the facilities that we could live there. On the first feast, that come to as we are Muslim, we call it the big feast. So at the first day, we walked up at 6 o'clock a.m. on the big knock on our door. Oh, what's that? What happened? It's a holiday day. It's a feast. I waked up and opened the door. I saw most than 20 persons standing in our door, in the front door on the street. I shocked. What's that? I told them. In fact, I didn't know them well, but all of them wear their feast dresses and very nice smells and carrying some chocolates. I thought, very nice to meet you, but I, in my home dress, I couldn't imagine such a kind of shock I could face. So they said that it's our culture. The first day at 6 o'clock, we go to all the houses in the neighbor and say, have a nice feast, and say, and give them some chocolates, especially you come for the first time. That's a shock for me. After that, I prepare myself for the first day of the every feast. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you all for sharing. Does anyone want to add something? If no, we would move on. Yeah, so here is just like a summary of what we were telling about. The culture shock refers to the psychological impact of moving from a familiar culture to an unfamiliar one. And it includes all these feelings that you mentioned, like anxiety, surprise, disorientation, uncertainty, confusion, and so on and so on, while adapting to a different and unknown cultural or social environment. And right now we would like to, I don't know if you are aware of this theory about 4 phases model of cultural adjustment by Canadian anthropologist Kaler Ober. He was a teacher, anthropologist, and he travels all around the world. And he divided the stages of cultural shock into 4 phases. And first one is honeymoon, then negotiation or crisis, then adjustment and adaptation. And as you can see, it on this picture, it goes like curve from like very high emotional state down and then up again. And we would start from the honeymoon stage. And the honeymoon stage, just as the name says, is the first stage when you are very excited about new culture, right? Everything seems very beautiful and you see everything in a romantic light. You love people, you love food.
And
And
have a lot of emotions to people, a lot of expectations as well.
yeah, you are fascinated and you are seeing only the good side of everything. But unfortunately, after a few weeks, this phase passes. I mean, it's individual, right? It doesn't have to be a few weeks. It can be longer than that. Because now we are speaking about this positive first side, so we would like to ask you also, like, what did you enjoy the most in countries you have been to? Like, it was very different from your culture, but you enjoyed it the most in your honeymoon stage.
Or even, for example, something that you liked that much that you would like to add this thing from another culture to your own culture, that you think that something is missing in your culture from another country.
Like for us, because we are in Jordan for 2 months, almost 2 months, I think that the thing that we enjoyed the most in the beginning is this famous hospitality. I think that we could adjust a bit of that in Poland, because we are not that open and we are not that hospital at first. Like we are more distant and closed, and you should get to know us more to really experience our hospitality. So I think that from our perspective, this would be one of the things.
And like people in our country, they need more time to like invite people to home. And here, for example, even like strangers, they can invite you to eat with them together and to share food. For example, for me, very like nice thing here is this sharing food that people they eat by hands many times, and it's something that I really enjoy.
Laura, okay, we will start with Laura.
Yes. So the honeymoon for me is always about paying bills, which is anywhere out of Germany is better than inside Germany, because in Germany it's so difficult. If I go out to have dinner, let's say with 4 friends, and then the waiter brings only 1 bill, then we take our mobile phones, the calculator, and we will calculate it for cents. Even for cents, what everybody has consumed or drank for his or her own, we will figure out the total and then pay it. And if we don't have the exact amount of cent, we will go out somewhere to exchange money in order to get the cents. And here, it's just so easy. Like one person pays the first time, and then the next time another person can pay. Yes, so I enjoy that more than being so, to strict with money. Yeah. Like in Italy or Spain, it's very common that you just divide the bill by the numbers of person who joined. Like even if I ate something which was less expensive than my friend, we just share it by 2. Like we divide the bill by 2, and we don't look exact like on the cents or on the money, like, okay, your Coke was more expensive than my water, something like that. So this is yeah, always the honeymoon stage, and actually it will stay like this. I don't get any depression on that. I just want to bring something of this back to Germany. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Actually, we have, I think, similar experience when it comes to paying, because we are always like confused who should pay and so on. And because we also divide like similar way, maybe not to cents, but like more or less. Yeah, sometimes like here I'm confused. Okay, so this person pays now, so next time it would be me. It's like expected to pay. I'm still confused sometimes.
Yeah, who of you is a German? Or you both are Germans? Hello? Hello?
Sorry?
Yeah,
No,
I'm
we are
asking.
from Poland. Laura is from Czech.
You are from Poland? Hello? Do you hear me? I don't hear anybody. Why? I don't.
Bad connection.
There is disconnection.
We can't hear you clearly. We can't.
You look like German, yes.
Me or them?
Me or her, I don't know who talk because I don't see your photos. Where?
Hey, let me assume Laura from German and the 2 girls from Poland. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Hey, did you got it, Talib?
No, you see me?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we can
can
see
you
you.
repeat?
Oh, I don't see you. I have to switch to the, yeah. Now I see. Laura, for example. Laura, you German?
Talib, Laura from German والبنتين from Poland.
والبنتين من لورا
بولند.
من وهذاك من بولندا. اوكي
اهلا بيك.
اهلا بك. كيفك يا جيجي؟ ان شاء الله مبسوطه.
الحمد لله كله تمام، مبسوطه ان انا شفتك بالتاكيد.
تسلم والله. انا يا جيجي كثير يعني بتشرف فيكم. يعني انت الان في الولايات المتحده، كيف الحر عندك انت في اريزونا ولا انا غلطان؟
لا جورجيا.
في حر عندكم اليوم؟
يا استل حر طبعا، يا ابتدينا.
والله قالوا في حر كثير في غرب امريكا وكندا. اوكي، الله يحميك. يلا
ثانك يو.
تسلمون.
Hey ladies, we can continue.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone else wants to adapt something to their culture? Anas, you something from United States that we would like to maybe?
Yeah, I would like to say one thing. Once you go and stay and live in any society, first of all, you will experience a lot of cultural shocks. But with time, you got adapted. You got adapted thoroughly. You take concern of what they used to do, their habits. You adapt yourself with all their habits. This is usual, but you keep your perception for yourself, but you don't, I say, criticize, or you don't engage in German, in their affairs. You say, this is their culture. I have to respect it. This is usual everywhere. because you are one in another milieu, in another medium. You are not going to turn the people to your culture, but you have to adapt yourself with their culture and with their habits. This is always what happens.
Okay, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Now we can see Anas wants to share something. Please go ahead.
Yes, so something that I like here, and I don't want it to change, which is the freedom of speech and the way you express yourself. So back in Jordan, when you, for example, when you're with a group of friends or a group of colleagues or anywhere else, and you talk about a debatable topic, then you almost fight for it. So you express yourself, and then others attack you because of your opinion or your views about this topic, and they want to convince you about their point of view. While here, people just discuss things in like so much respect, and they just respect your opinion. You might be
Anas, you say here. Where are you now?
I'm sorry. I'm in the US now.
Okay.
So you express yourself. You say your opinion. It might be so different than theirs, but they still accept you as you are. You know, it might be so different, but it's out of courtesy and politeness not to say anything negative about your views. So while back in Jordan, I remember the way we discussed things. Like we really try to convince like the other part that they are wrong and we are right. While here there is no wrong or right. It's okay. You have your opinion. It's up to you. No one cares, you know?
It's not like this black and white. There are many people also in Jordan who respect your opinion, even in every society. But yes, you are right in some way, but not all people are the same. And once they hear your opinion and they say, and they realize that your opinion is different from them, from theirs, they will be not, what can I, good to you. No, there are many people who respect your opinion, but in another, maybe in these times, yes, you have not all the truth, but you have some truth. Yes, there are people.
Right. It's a culture. It doesn't happen for every single person, but
yes,
it's a general thing.
yes.
It's a general thing.
Yes, but we also notice here, of course, it's never like for every single person in any country, but here we also notice like discussing this delicate issue is way different than in Poland. Like in Poland, we are very about what's going on, and here I noticed that it's more
people are trying to be
more
Yes, I can hear you and they hear me.
okay. So we have some connection problem.
يا مأمون لما تحكي ابعد الميوت عنك يا مأمون
عشان ما يسمعوني يا زلمه.
لأنه يسمعوك المخابرات.
Yes, go ahead.
and
don't hear you well. We don't hear you well.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Because you
There's a problem.
Oh, I'm unmuted.
I can't hear it from here. Speak.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, no, yes.
Okay. So like the crisis, it's mostly like after around 3 months when we are changing the place, and it depends on the how we are experienced, how many countries we visit before, for example, and how prepared we are for experiencing different, and also like how flexible we are. But mostly that time we are like experiencing a lot of difficult emotions like the anxiety or this excitement like change very fast. So frustration and anger.
Mood swings.
Yes. And we can suddenly, for example, get frustrated by everything in a new country. Like prices, the behavior, that something is outside of our comfort zone. That in another culture might be normal, but for us it's completely out of comfort zone.
Yeah, you also start, for example, for me, when I have this kind of crisis, let's say, you start to idealize your life back at home. Like you start to compare like different behaviors, and you start to think, yeah, in my place it would be done differently than here, and so on. Here or something like that. So we would like to ask for people who stayed in like one country for longer time, not like for short time, because I think that if someone stays only for vacation, then 2-3 weeks, like you can only enjoy or hate it from the beginning. It depends. But yeah, when someone stays for longer, did you have this kind of crisis? So you could share, how did you feel about it? How did you cope with this situation? Yeah. Like I hear, I see that Ahram wrote, I read it out loud, okay? I felt at this stage, at the honeymoon stage, when I was displaced from my city to my father's village to the war. I felt happy at first because I would try new and strange experiences, such as making cows and plowing fields, but the situation did not continue like that. But
I'm sorry, I would like to add something. If you wonder, if you go to many countries, you become expecting many cultural, I mean, they will not be seen by you as shocks. They are seen by you as differences. Because you wander from one country, you go. First, I was in Japan, I was in India and America, in many countries, and there are differences in their habits. Become for me familiar. So even if something unexpected becomes familiar, because I see this society has this use. Or this habit, I can't change it. For example, in Japan, if you give a tip to a waiter, this is like insult. You are not welcome to give any tips for the waiter. For example, in India, there are also. I was in Kerala, and Mamoon was with that, but that was in Mayapur, but before 1 year before, I was in Kerala, and that was my first landing to India, and we were invited by the Kerala Prime Minister to a dinner, and they, instead of putting in front of us, it was a good restaurant around the river, I mean outside the river, and instead of putting tellers, pots in front of us, they put just only big leaves, plant leaves, clean, of course. And they put, somebody came, put rice with a big spoon made up of holes, made up of wood. And the sauce that no meat was no meat at all. But it was delicious. But you have to eat with your hand. Even the Prime Minister of Kerala eats with his hand. For me, there's no spoons. No, they said no. Everybody here eats with hand. And then, as I asked for water to drink, they gave me warm water. I said to him, not for tea. He said, no, but your stomach and your body is warm, so you have to drink warm water. So in every country, you are faced with new habits that you don't or you have never been experienced to and never expected. In Mongolai, for example, instead of put in the what can I say? After cleaning the intestine of the animal, they pour the blood in, and then they what can I say? They knot it from both sides and put it in boiled water, and then they eat. They say the blood is good to eat, but it's in our culture, it's forbidden. Yeah, you make the smiling, but that happens, yeah. And if you would like to see more things that will astonish you, go to Africa and the tribes. You will find a lot, I'm sure, in the jungles. I would like to tell. I would like to, yes. Yeah, I would like to tell you.
Yes, but
it is like a joke. One, you know, Central Africa, it's a republic, and as their president went to France in an airplane, the stress there, who is, I mean, the lady who serves on the airplane said to him, he asked for. She said to him, should I give you the menu to select what to food? He said, no, give me the list of the passengers for his meal. But this is just a joke, I'm sorry. Yeah.
okay, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I can see Laura is waiting for her for her turn also. Yeah, there are different habits. I think we all aware of that. But about this crisis, it's like when you are longer in one country, right? Then you still aware it's normal, but you have this like inside feeling, I guess, like it's from psychological point of view. I don't know if it comes from tiredness or homesickness or something like that, that you just start feeling very annoyed. But I'm very interested if you guys ever experience that, like being for longer time in another culture, another country. It doesn't have to be after 3 months. It's very individual. Maybe some got very angry after 1 week. I don't know. So, okay, right now.
Thank you. Yes, how did you know? So for my last job assignment, I stayed in West Africa in Burkina Faso for 2 years. And I remember the crisis, yes, like yesterday. So I will give you 2 examples. At first, I was so fascinated that people only eat, well, I was in a village, that people eat only what seasonal, like what they get from the field. They will, I thought, oh, this will be so healthy 2 years. But after 4 months, I was so fed up, like only eating tomato and waiting and waiting and waiting for another vegetable to get in the season, actually. So I got very annoyed that not everything is available all the time. And the other thing was the electricity. In an average week, we had 2 hours in a week electricity. And in the beginning, I thought, oh, that's so great. You will like make digital fasting. You're not connected to the internet. But then after like 3 or 4 months, it was so annoyed that I cannot access, you know, social media all the time, that I cannot download videos or watch videos on YouTube because the internet connection was not stable enough. So I really had this depressive phase. And also Magda and Victoria asked about the coping strategies. So what I did, I actually mingled more with the local people to, you know, to see what they do and if they have jokes about it or what strategies they have. And also I mingled with people who just recently arrived and who were still in the honeymoon stage. So their spirit, you know, again took over on my side. And the third thing I did, I asked my mom to send me a big parcel with lots of things from Germany. So I didn't become homesick too much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for sharing this. Some could like say some stories from, like we can understand that people are like interested in us when we go on the street and so on, and sorry. Sorry. For example, we understand that we are like looking differently here, and people are like naturally interested in us. But for example, when we have, you know, after whole day, you just have a walk, for example, or just want to sit down, and people like 7 people suddenly are around you and just want to take photo, and you just want to be alone and just enjoy your time, and you have this crisis. It's like, oh, please, you don't know how to behave. No, we don't want to be impolite and just leave us alone or something.
We need to hug everyone.
We need to hug. So yeah, we have situation like that.
Like even yesterday we were walking and like suddenly a lot of people they got interest about us, like even girls, yes, like women, girls, and boys, they wanted to take pictures with us, and we were like very tired and we did not do like much interaction.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to be impolite.
Yeah, but
sometimes annoying. Like, I spent some time here.
Yes.
Getting
Yeah, exactly. And saying just no, thank you, no photo, please. It didn't work. It's like maybe we should push them more so they will agree. Yeah. So anyone else? Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shadi, Mamoon's friend. So getting back in 2003, when I had a cultural visit to Lithuania, actually, one of those days we were just walking on the street, and some of the Lithuanian friends. I guess that the country was in northern Lithuania. It was Panevėžys, and the town was called Upite. Okay, as usual, we walk in the street. All the friends that we have, Jordanian, we have Italian, we have Lithuanian, I guess, and other countries. And one of the Lithuanian friends said, "Do you know that person who's just walking in the street, who's okay riding a bike in the street?" I said, "No. Who could be that?" And he said, "He's the mayor, or he's the governor of the country, of the Panevėžys." I said, "Oh, he must be kidding. You can't be serious, actually." He said, "I swear to God, no, he's the mayor. Would you like to talk to him?" I said, "Is it possible?" I said, "Yes." I just walked in the one of the shops and said, and they were talking to each other Lithuanian, said, "Sir, this is Mr. Shadi from the King." Embarrassed, and I got shocked actually what to tell him. I said, "Nice to meet you. It's quite weird. It's so weird actually that any person can, or you're just riding a bike in the street." I said, "Okay, it's normal here, and Panevėžys, and also it could be in the whole of the Lithuanian country." I said, "No, in Jordan, it's not normal thing that to see the mayor or even any governor just having or riding a bike in the street among the people of the country." So it was weird experience for me, and I just wanted to share it with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.
Most welcome.
يعني mayor is okay, but governor, I mean the king, maybe not يعني so easy.
I cannot hear. I think he was saying something, but we couldn't hear.
Talib, can you repeat, Talib?
ايش احكي؟
Yes, you were saying something.
انا قلت يعني الماير مش كثير، يعني بنقدر نشوفه في اي وقت، بس قائد البلاد يعني
Excuse me, it's what
يعني
the
شوي
thought was
صعبة.
the mayor or the governor just riding a bike. Okay, I'm talking about the way he was just moving or mingling from place to place, just riding a bike among the people, among the residents.
Yeah.
I
understand.
I'm not talking
That
about
was
the mayor himself that walking in the street, or the weird thing was riding a bike in the country.
Yeah. I was invited. That happened in Davis. Davis is a city about 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers north of San Francisco. And as I got a Fulbright scholar there for a year, I was there, and we were invited by the mayor, and we were. I mean, with many, we were in a place that was sunny. We were outside, and many people. And then they said the mayor is coming, and I saw who is coming. It was a lady, or she was a lady, coming on a bike, because. And afterwards, she came just on the biking, and she put her bike aside, and she stepped down, and she came to the platform, and I said, why on a bike? Why no limousine? Why no? So they said, because the city has its symbol, the bike. Everybody in Davis has a bike, and everyone uses a bike. If you look to the symbol of the city, it is just only a bike. So seeing a mayor coming on a bike, yeah, it's okay.
In my hometown, there was also once a mayor who was riding a bike, but it was only for show off when the television was around.
Many people, those politicians, yeah, they use a lot for just on the show. If they give something, they let the cameras take photos for them. if they donate, if they, for example, plow the land to plant a tree, they just only for the show, for very short moment, they take the axe and make a pit so as to plant the tree, saying that it was under his patronage or whatever, you know, and he shared them to do that, or putting a stone on when they would like to install or to build a new building or new project, somebody takes for him the stone so as to put in, and then with the mastarine or what you call it, so as to place it correctly. But afterwards, they will just this story is just only to show that this responsible guy or lady, they are building the country.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so we may move on to another phase. This one, adjustment. So after usually 6 to 12 months, also individual case, one accustomed to the new culture and develops routines. One knows what to expect in most situations, and things become more normal and make sense. People develop problem-solving skills for dealing with the culture. And it's like just like back to the honeymoon stage, I think. Accept the culture with a positive attitude.
With some children.
And yes, sorry.
You become customized.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
بتبلد بالعربي بتبلد بالعربي
مش بتبلد، يعني زي ما تقول بتصير يعني
بتمسح
بتمسح.
And the last stage is adaptation, when someone is just getting used to living in host culture. That it doesn't mean that people that they are like used to and they are totally converted to this culture, but they accepted almost everything, or they stopped fighting with those things that were like very annoying for them. But they are keeping most of the time like their own habits from previous culture, like accent or language, or things that they thought that are better, for example, in solving problems or in communication with other people.
Yeah, and we would also like to say a bit about outcomes, because depending on the individual, people like adjust and adapt differently. And 60% of people are called rejectors. So they found impossible to accept the foreign culture and to integrate, actually, 60%. They isolate themselves from the host country environment, which they come to perceive as hostile. They withdraw into, like, let's say, mental ghetto, like they're isolated from the host country. And they want to just keep their own all the time. So yeah, these are like 60% of them. And then we have like cultural assimilation. It's only 10% of expatriates. So these are the people that integrate fully and take on all parts of the host culture while losing their original identity. And so they just become like people from the host country. And normally they remain in the host country forever, 10% only. And then we have 30% of cosmopolitan, let's say. So these are the people who manage to adapt to the aspect of the host culture. They see positive, but they keep some of their own habits and create like a blend, like a mix. And they have no major problems returning home or just change location, relocate. and here, this group is called Cosmopolitan, and they are like approximately 30% of expats.
They're just trying to like take all good stuffs from the every culture to like develop themselves and also to just grow.
Yes. Do you see yourself, by the way, in any of this group, or?
For me, I see myself in the 30.
Cosmopolitan?
Yes.
You want to share some?
Yes.
Yes, I can almost keep, they can hear me, I guess. I can always keep my identity. At the same time, I can adapt to the other's identity where I'm living. So anything related to relationship with others, I adapt their culture, following when in Rome, live or do like the Roman do is the same. But between myself, I will keep my identity. I will not lose it. I will not be from the Tinder set.
Yes, I think it's very like good attitude because you can use everything that was good in your own culture and adapt. Because try to adapt like better solution in the culture that, for example, they need to improve something because it's not working. So like if people they have different experience and different let's say like point of view or lenses by which they perceive different things, it's easier to improve something. And then
for me also, I would see myself in this 30% because I cannot lose my identity. Like whenever I go, I have this like impact from my childhood and whole life from my family. And even if I see that some things are done better in one country, sooner or later I find myself that I have you know, a different approach. Like I cannot get rid of it. And I think it's a good thing because also I can adapt new things, but still I keep my identity.
Yes.
So yeah, for me it's the same as well.
Anyhow, this is guys, the diversity of the lifestyles. Diversity is in fact is a matter or it's natural by virtue. It's natural wherever you go, you have diversification, and diversity should be a matter to respect, not to conflict, not only in rituals, in customs, in cultures, in food, in everything. So this man should always be educated that the world is diverse. People everywhere, they have their own habits, their own culture, their own rituals, their own habits, and you have to respect all. And as Ma'mun said, being in Rome, behave like Romans.
Actually, because Mamun mentioned this, and you also mentioned this, like when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? Do you think it's always good advice? How do you think?
For me, as long as you are in a culture, you try to adapt to the culture, even if you don't believe when you interact with people. You need to talk the same way. You need to respect them.
Communicate.
Yes, you need to communicate in a way they will understand you. I'm not to offend them.
But يا مأمون انت عامل ميوت لإلك تحكي معهم، احنا بنسمعك عبرهم.
Yes, because many laptops in the room make noise.
يخو.
Yes, you can.
Hello.
أيوة هيك أوضح.
What I was saying that sometimes you need to show respect to where you are if you are out of your culture, but at the same time, sometimes if you hug a lady in Rome in Poland, in Germany, it's okay for you to do it, because if you don't do it, they will think that you are more or less something strange. They will start to have doubts about you. But in Jordan, for example, I don't do it. For example, this is an extreme example just to give you. So respecting the culture is part of being a good guest, I think. Thank you.
Kamal want to say something.
Okay, I agree with you, Mamoon, about this point, to respect the culture, to accustom. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, I agree with you, Mamoon, about respecting the culture of others while you are living among them. Yes, but it doesn't mean that I accept this culture, because you know our background, our history, our religions or culture prevent us to say to hug or to kiss or like this. For example, you know, in the Western countries, when you kiss a guy, another man, it is not accepted. Not acceptable, but you kiss the girls is accepted. Nobody say it is strange, but this is also kind of accepting or not accepting. In general, we admit, we agree, and we respect the culture, but we can't, let's say, accepting this as a behavior for us.
I think this is usual by all of us. Yeah, this is usual.
Yes.
You have to stick to your culture once you are in your medium. But once you are out of your medium and another medium, another culture, I mean, you do what, as I said, once in Rome, behave like Romans. If you don't do that, then you are looked as odd. Yeah. كيفك أستاذ كمان؟
الحمد لله الحمد لله.
سمعت الطقس عندكم الآن حار جدا في السويد، اكسبشنال في منه؟
Yes, it's 28 in my city now. 28, it means about 48 in Jordan, approximately.
The weather session.
Very hot, yes, very hot.
Maybe I have small comments on these issues.
Agree with you, Laura.
Yes, but like coming back from this, like when in Rome, do as the Romans do. I think it like for me, I don't totally agree. I mean, you have to respect the culture and so on, but if you are the host also needs to like know that you are from different culture, and he or she shouldn't like make you things that are uncomfortable for you. For example, if like a Muslim woman would be in Poland, we wouldn't say like, oh, go and hug this guy, it's fine, you know, when she's like, for example, very conservative. We do it, so you do it too, come on, why not? We wouldn't say that. And yeah, here also, like I know we are different people and we are from different cultures, and sometimes I have this feeling that sometimes people are like pushy to like, no, you should do it because here in Jordan we do it all the time. For example, for us it's uncomfortable. We don't want to. So I don't totally agree. You should respect and you should adjust and you shouldn't be like offensive or something like that. But also you should know the barrier and your limits also.
That someone can have different attitude and different values.
You are right.
I
You are right.
have small comments on that if you want. I think the teenagers have some kind of adoption with their, let us say, teenagers around the world. They are trying to adopt the same, I think, the same ideas through the communication networks. They took the same, let us say, behaviors, even hair cut, dressing, and even the clothes, even the dances, the words, the speech, the English language. Most of them are adopting let us say, some kind of tones, and I think that most of them, I think they are adopting the same culture. It's a kind of trend around the world. I don't know.
For a little extent, yes, you are, or for a large extent, you are right, Sherwan. Now, cosmopolitan, the world becomes more cosmopolitan, and with the more mixing of the people around the world, people start to as we say, we are living in a big village by this technology. So even the habits have changed a lot. And what the others do, you look, you see, why don't I do the same? So this is for more extent, yeah, you are right. Well, إشي عندكم يا بنات أنتم؟ Have you more to slides or that's all?
Still have something. There's a lot in there.
Okay, we had some questions also, but some of them were covered already. We were like wondering from their perspective. The first one, what do you like most about your own culture and feel people could apply to a culture you were participating from your culture?
I didn't get the question.
Yeah, it was a lot of echo that we didn't hear you well.
Okay. What do you like the most about your own culture that you want to share with others and for others' cultures to apply from your culture?
Yeah. Your talk was good that you explored in something which a cultural shock that is that's good to talk about it, and it was a good initiative from your side to talk about it, and we shared.
Dr. Talib, he asked you, what do you like about your own culture, the Khalili culture?
في أشياء there are many that I like
in English,
there are many that I like and there are many that I don't like. For example, I would like to give you what I like: the hospitality, the sharing of opportunities, the coming together to talk to chat. That's good. But there are a lot of things that still must be corrected. For example, the trash throwing in the streets, that's very bad thing. And that's usual in many other countries, and many other, maybe, I don't want to say many other countries, but in many other suburbs. And so, for example, there are also shooting in the wedding parties. That's very bad, you know. A lot of shooting, a lot of, you know. I remember a guy who was that was beside his greenhouses. Beside his greenhouses, there was a wedding party, and the people started to shoot, and they shot a lot. Those, I mean, Chinese shooting, you know, Chinese fire games. And all the plastic of the greenhouse was fired, was got in fire, or got in fire. That was something that is afterwards the people learn from their mistakes. What other the streets, the driving style, even in Jordan, I think even in Iraq, even in Syria, people don't respect the others. You know, I must pass first and let the others go behind me, and no respect for time, for example. This is also that I don't like. People, time means nothing for them. They waste time in vanity. So this is I have a list, but you know, if you would like me to talk about many things, يعني أصل قديش انهزمنا بيني وبينكم مشان هيك يعني. Okay.
Okay, we have many volunteers to share their thoughts. So maybe we'll start with Mammon was first, I think. Yes.
Thank you. For what I really like about our culture is the readiness to help. In Jordan, everybody, if you have something, if you have a car accident, anything, you will find many people around you wants to help you. And this is, you cannot find it in many other parts of this world. What I don't like is, you know, there's some things related to personal privacy. Sometimes they ask private questions. And this is part of being concerned about you. They feel that they need to ask these things to show that they really care about you. So it's about something counterproductive. They don't give you your privacy. At the same time, they might think that they are helping you, or bringing something personal is helping you to understand how important are you to them. Thank you.
Thank you. So now maybe Laura.
Thank you. I like about my culture that if people in Germany say yes, they mean yes, and if they say no, they mean no.
Not in Jordan.
And that makes it a very comfortable situation, even with strangers, if you have them in your place, or if you ask somebody to share food or to offer a drink or water. You know, you always know what to do, because you ask, would you like to drink water? And if the answer is no, then the person is just not thirsty. And if the answer is yes, and the person can, you know, easily say yes without any shame or embarrassment, then you give water. So this is what I like about Germany. What I don't like, yes, I mentioned, like, the list is longer. The payment, the sharing the bills, to being so strict, you know, to think so strict. You cannot park your car on the street where you want, because there's like 10 different rules how and where and what time of the day you are allowed to park your car on that part of the street or not. And if you don't know this rule, maybe because you are in a different city, let's say from Cologne, you go to Düsseldorf and there's another law, and then you get a ticket straight away and you cannot discuss with them. So this is one of the things I don't like.
Thank you for sharing. Kamal.
It's my turn now. Okay. In fact, my answer is related to the Ma'mun's answer. I like the most in my culture related to the social solidarity, especially in the occasions like Eids or weddings, the gathering of all people to help each other and to celebrate with others if there is a happy occasion. And even in the sad occasion also, they are, you feel that you are the one hand to help, to support, to do everything for the benefits of a man or a woman. This is very important. For example, I came from a Palestine camp in Syria. This is my culture and background. We respect others' opinion, even they are against us. For example, I still remember my friends, he is a communist, but his father wants to go to the Hajj, even though he financially helps him to go to the Hajj. Understand, this is the idea. Even I am against for the idea of Hajj, even though I am ready to help my father, this is in general, to practice his beliefs. And that is very important for the solidarity in the society. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing.
So now, Mr. Sharwan, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let us say I would like to add something about what Kamal and Ma'moon said. I would like to focus on the dabke. it's a type of dancing in our cultures. Most of let us say our neighbor countries, Arabic countries, they have the dabka, and even in Kurdistan, it's a kind of, let us say, some kind of activities that accumulate the people, some kind of emotional ceremonies, make the even if any session is much better. That makes the things very much, let us say, happiness. So this is the positive things. The negative things that I would like to refer. When let us say in our culture, when we invite someone, we consider the let us say the type of the foods and the let us say the making much money or much types of food. It's a kind of hospitalities. So sometimes when you invite someone, 1 or 2 persons, but you make a food for 10 or more, most of these foods are thrown in the that's the very bad practices that I like. I really oppose this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So maybe at the end, I don't know, Mamun, you want to say something, or you just left this?
No, just.
Okay. So maybe at the end we would share something about Poland. What do we like? Like for me, I like that we are very straightforward and practical, I think. And like when we say something, that means that we will do it. It's not like maybe we will do it. It's very, yes, and like, yeah.
We will see the YouTube channel.
So that's the way, even though that we seem pretty distant, that once you get to know us closer, like we can share a lot and we can be very good friends and so on. But what I don't like, I think that we are sometimes too pessimistic.
but I think that being pessimistic many times it helps.
Yes.
Solving problems, because when someone is expecting the worst, then
True.
I don't hear you well. اي اوكي انا بدي اعتذر منكم يا مأمون لانه عندي زوم ثاني، فبدي اتشكركم. I thank you all very much. وانا سعيد اني اشوفك استاذ شروان، استاذ كمال، استاذ مأمون، الجميع، ونراكم. سيد مأمون، عشان في عندنا تغير في رئيس البلدية، لسه النشاط ما عملناهوش، نعمله هاليومين. اوكي، see you، باي باي، يعطيكم العافية، سعيد برؤياكم. Have nice times. Bye.
Okay, bye. And we just wanted at the end just ask you a question apart from our topic, like what would you like to discuss for the next sessions? Do you have any ideas? What would you like us to prepare, for example?
Like any topics, like
Can I say something here? From my experiences, I noticed that the culture shock is connected with the context itself. Here, when I say context, it's not related to the country or the culture. No, it's related also the age, the time. I will go one example related to what Dr. Harifi said about the wearing bikini. This matter, for example, in Sweden before 50 years was a shock, a cultural shock, even between the Swedish themselves. And now it's become a familiar, it's accepted for all. But in the past, it was a shock. It means that let's say the criteria of getting this idea culture shock is differs from time to time, from age to age, even from the country to country, and sometimes from the country or from the city or the country or the villages. It means it's not a matter of geographical location where I am now. No, it's related to the mentality or the concepts I thinking on. This is my idea about the culture shock.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. You know, our volunteers is asking if you want to discuss a special topic in our future cultural cafes. إذا في عندكم طلبات لو مواضيع نناقشها في الكالتشرال كافيه في المستقبل، بسألوكم إذا حابين موضوع معين.
I have a suggestion here.
Mr. Sharwan.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'd like to suggest specific topics concern what are you doing to improve your attitude, your personality, your, let's say, activity in your society. That's the ideas.
Okay, so we will have it in mind. Thank you very much. That could be interesting. Any more ideas? Please share any ideas, really.
Manage the time and get the goal. Reach the goal. You don't get that, Moon? Manage the time and reach the goals.
Manage time and reach. Okay.
Okay, Anas has idea also.
Yes. What can we do? Okay, what can we do as individuals to improve our own societies?
What is this, Anas, or society?
I said, what can we do as individuals to improve our societies?
Society,
so
yes.
Our circles, our neighborhoods, whatever.
I have a title I can suggest now related to the role of the NGOs and the community centers in achieving SDGs, because we tackle this a point for the government or the, let's say, official institutions or orientations. But the role of community centers, the role of NGOs of achieving SDGs is very important.
Hello, everybody. If you are interested, I prepared a training course on grant writing and proposal writing, and I give instruction. I give a long introduction on how to the civil society in general and the global development goals as well. If you like, we can have it on sessions. If you like, maybe we can divide it into 10 sessions. If you like, we can start one day. If you like the idea.
I like it.
Yes, Ma'amoon, and I like also to contribute, not just a participant, to contribute. You lead this activity, and you can ask us to have a role, have a turn to do some, to say something, or to train on, to coach something. Just, is it a matter of activities, not just listening or talking? Maybe you can prepare some activities to be done online.
Yes, frankly, I prepare it like this. I give the introduction because there's a lot of misunderstanding about civil society, NGOs, international NGOs, and all this stuff. Then I give like practical exercises, how to develop, for example, a logical framework for your project, how to do stakeholders analysis, how to develop, for example, the wording for the proposal. So every time we will have like take a home, let's say, assignment, So we get back how to develop, for example, as a case, your case statement, what to use, what to do, what not to use, not to do. So all things, it's like everybody can contribute to it. If you like, we can do it in on several sessions, and we have something to implement. After each session, we have something to implement and come back with something. And this will help you in your work because, you know, in URI and in Desert Bloom, we receive like 10 grants so far. So we have some kind of experience of what's the donor do and how to manage relationship with donors. So it's like a comprehensive concept of developing, let's say, a strategy to get to fund a social causes.
Yes, of course.
Okay, everyone. So actually, I've been thinking about what training we might share in the future. Maybe I'm talking about my own experience. I'm a trainer of business writing. If you're interested in how to write something what's so called about business or dealing with others, institutions, companies, I have a complete willingness to give you a training course about the business writing. So just
Great.
Yeah, these are all great ideas. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Anas, yes? No?
Sorry, this was a long time ago.
Okay.
Forward.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so thank you very much for joining us today. It was a real pleasure to hear all of you. Thank you for sharing the stories, and I hope to see you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Well done, girls.
Thank you.